Hello guys, this is the second session, that is I am going to continue with the RNA itself. The second important RNA is tRNA. It is also called as the adapter RNA, the adapter molecule. Why it is adapter? You know adapter, charger, okay, you plug it to the socket, right? So like that, the tRNA, it has got specific sequences which is called as anticodon, which will now bind to a specific codon of the mRNA. So suppose, let us say this is the polypeptide chain now produced after translation process. It contains certain amino acids, obviously polypeptide chain. So let us say the first amino acid in all the protein will be methionine, correct? Because it is coded by AUG, the start codon of the mRNA. Okay, so let us say second one is tryptophan, third one is glutamate, or next is valine, like that. So you know it. Okay, so how many amino acids are there here? Total 8 are there. So if you count it, 8 amino acids are there. Each amino acid is now brought into the ribosome, the site of translation, by a specific tRNA. So if 8 amino acids are there, then obviously there should be 8 tRNAs. Got it? So this is the thing. Okay, so please remember this. Each tRNA is specific to a specific amino acid. Got it? Okay, so this is the structure of the tRNA. Let us see. It is also called as adapter RNA. Very simple. It has got anticodon, that is specific nitrogenous bases, unpaired bases, which will bind to specific codon on the mRNA. So that is called as adapter RNA. It is also called as soluble RNA because it gets soluble in sodium chloride. Okay, so this is the thing. Second, we know it, for the translation to occur, somebody should bring the amino acid to the site of ribosome or maybe to the mRNA. Okay, so mRNA and ribosome are waiting for a specific amino acid. So that is brought by the tRNA. So it is the physical link between the codon present on the mRNA and the specific amino acid. So got it? So amino acid will be brought by this tRNA and then it will be translated to produce a specific amino acid by using anticodon and codon interaction. So that is the physical link. So now, yes, it is the 15% of the total RNA. So out of 100%, 5% is by mRNA. The 15% is the tRNA, remaining 80% is ribosomal RNA. So that is seen everywhere in the cytoplasm. That is ribosomal RNA that occupies 80% of the RNAs. It is the smallest RNA. Yes, it is the tiniest RNA. It hardly contains around 77, that is 80 to 207 ribonucleotides. So this is very small RNAs compared to 3 RNAs. Okay, so which is the middle one now? That is rRNA. Okay, the longest and largest is mRNA. Okay, now I am going to talk about the structure of the tRNA. First, before we understand translation, we need to understand the structure of the RNA. That's what I have drawn the diagram. Okay, so this diagram, that is actually the structure, was proposed by Hawley. That is the 2D structure of the RNA. Remember, we made a question for your NEET. Who proposed 2D structure of the tRNA? That is Hawley. Who proposed 3D structure of the tRNA? Kim and Clark. Please note this. There is no confusion. The 2D structure which was given by Hawley, it is also called as clover leaf model of tRNA. Very, very important for your board also. Explain clover leaf model of tRNA with a neat label diagram. Okay, so right, it was proposed by Hawley. In the NCERT it is not given, the name is not given. Okay, so it is also 2D structure. There is no confusion between 3D and 2D. So this is 2D structure. 3D structure means like it will be some like this. So this is 3D. Okay, like this. It's very complicated draw. That's what I did not draw the diagram. It is not necessary also. Okay, we stick to cloverleaf model of Hawley. See here, this is the 3' end and this is the 5' end. The starting ribonucleotides. Okay, which is free now. Correct? In this particular site, the tRNA, it is free. It is completely free. Okay, the 3' end, which has got a specific unpaired basis, that should be read as CCA. Do not read it as ACC. Note this point. CCA. Why CCA? This is the start. Correct. So this is the end. 3' is the end. So 5' is the start. So compared to 3' end and 5' end, which is the longest end. So 3' end is the longest, whereas 5' end is the start of the tRNA, which is shortest. Okay. And when you look here, the 5 prime end, which has got a specific sequences, which is mainly contains guanine. So it is guanine rich sequence. Please note this one. So in tRNA, the 5 prime end starts with guanine, so it is guanine rich sequence, whereas 3 prime end reads CCA. What is the main significance of having CCA bases in the 3 prime end? This CCA bases will bind to a specific amino acid. So that means it is understood out of 2 ends, 3 prime and 5 prime, the 3 prime will bring the amino acid binding or will bring the amino acids, got it, to the ribosome. So please note this, 3 prime bring the amino acid. Okay, so it cannot be considered as arm of the tRNA. That's what I have not mentioned it. So if you look into the tRNA, the cloverleaf model, according to Hawley, he says that it has got 4 loops. Loop 1, loop 2, loop 3. We cannot, loop 3, loop 4. We cannot consider it as loop 5. Got it? Because it is free. It is free. Okay. So loop 1, it is also called as dihydroxyuridine R, DHUR. You may get a question like DHUR. How many ribonucleotides are there in the DHUR? I have written here, this is loop 1, which is also called as dihydroxyuridine R, DHUR. Remember this, the other name of it, loop 1. 8 to 12 ribonucleotides will be there. Okay, ribonucleotide in the sense unpaired bases. So please note this one. It looks like double stranded. No, it is single stranded itself. Unpaired bases will be there. How many? 8 to 12. That is loop 1, which is called as DHU. That's what I have mentioned when I was discussing about mRNA. mRNA has a specific sequences. All the sequences are useful. Even though introns will be there, but still it is useful. Okay, it will not contain any abnormal sequences, but tRNA is the only RNA which has got abnormal sequences. That is a new basis will be there. That is dihydroxyuridine. It is a new base. So that is present in this loop 1, hence the name is DHUR. Got it? So I have not mentioned it. So please note this point. It is containing some abnormal sequences. Okay, one is in that loop 1, DHU basis will be there, hence it is called as DHUR. Just note this point. Then we'll come to this. The second loop is very important, which got anticodon. How many unpaired bases will be there? 7. That's what I have mentioned here. Loop 2 is called as anticodon R. It has got 7 unpaired bases. Out of 7 unpaired bases, only 3 unpaired bases will recognize the codons present on the mRNA. So that is called as anticodon. Got it? So each tRNA has got specific anticodon sequences, specific 3 bases, okay, unpaired bases, that is called as anticodons. Got it? Okay, out of 7. So I have not mentioned here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But out of 7, only 3 acts like anticodon. Okay, they are specific. So this initiates translation. Got it? Okay. So now here you could see a small tiny loop. This is called as loop 3. It is also called as variable loop. The function is not known, have not been discovered yet. So forget about it. Now loop 4. The loop 4 is also called as T pseudouridine CR. Pseudouridine R. Remember it. Loop 4 is called as pseudouridine R. Now let us talk about the function of it. That's what I said, like it is abnormal. Pseudouridine R is there. Pseudouridine. It's a different type of basis. Okay, abnormal. Now, as I said, like CCA is the specific sequence for binding a specific amino acid. So to the 3' end, the amino acid will bind, whereas 5' end is guanine rich. Okay. So now here during the translation is occurring. Obviously, the tRNA should be very firm. So the one side of the loop should bind to the ribosome. Which loop binds to the ribosome? So this loop will bind to the ribosome. Got it? So this loop will hold the ribosome tightly. Got it? So to be firm. Okay. So remember, you may get a question. Which arm or which loop actually binds to ribosome? That is loop 4 binds to ribosome during translation process. Now we need to charge the tRNA. You will not understand what is this tRNA charging, but it's very important. When I discuss about translation, obviously I will talk about it. So loop 1, It has got a specific sequences which will bind to a specific enzyme, which is very very important for charging tRNA. That is amino acyl synthetase enzyme will bind to loop 1. Remember, it's very important. Amino acyl synthetase will bind to this. As a result, tRNA gets charged, and as a result, it will attract the amino acid. Like that, the sequence will not occur. Just remember the function of it. Okay, so that's all about it, I guess. Yeah, yes. Okay, please remember Holly, who proposed cloverleaf model. You need to write only this much. Just you need explanation. DHUR. Okay, what is the function of DHUR? So it will bind to amino acid synthetase. Okay, so enzyme. It has got 8 to 12 nucleotides, ribonucleotides. It is also called as dihydroxy. Is written normal like that. You just write. That's it. Very simple, very easy too. So that's all about from this session. That is tRNA. Please note down each and everything. So that's all about it.